So, what's the idea?
We make a play about Basil Hallam.
I don't know who he is.
No, well, he's largely forgotten. But it's the centenary of the First World War, and I've got a little bit of funding. Money, Jack. And it's an important story.
Money?
I think you'll learn something. Jack, what's important is to have a project, something to get you out of bed in the morning. It doesn't matter what it is, but you need an interest in something bigger than yourself. You could always get a job. I can't keep coming home to find you still in bed. I can't keep paying for you to lie around all day. Why should I? I can't afford it. And it's not good for you. I know you had a shock when Dad and I split up. Doing things for you and him, not for me. I didn't know who I was. And then I went back to uni and I met Rosie, and now I've got my academic life and behind the lines. It's good for you too, because there's funding for projects with impact. That's reach and significance. If I can reach needs, that's good. You're a NEET, not in employment, education, or training. I'm inviting you to be just. To be honest, I'm telling you straight right now that unless you get a job and move out, which I've been trying to help you do for months, unless you take action, you're in my project. You're my research assistant and creative collaborator. You like war games? This is about war, the First World War, all these words they used to sell those things, obliteration, carnage. But you'll find out for real. We'll look in the archives of Basil's actual story. And perhaps you'll realise what you take for granted and just how lucky you are.
Taking this toll because I don't know what home base is. I used to switch roles and swap some strategies. Like a
It's not a punishment, Jack. It's an opportunity. We'll make a play like the ones I make with Rosie.
What, telling lesbian stories?
Yeah, well, the thing is...
You want me to be in this?
I do.
Who's going to see this play? All your women mates?
Yes, well, hopefully. And your friends, too.
All your mates?
And other people.
What other people?
People with an interest. People with an interest in something bigger than themselves are 87% happier.
Than what?
People who don't have an interest in something bigger than themselves.
So you have to be interested in big things?
Well, yes. Now look, I've done some initial research, and here is a mood board where we can paste up things that interest us about him.
So how big was he then, this fella?
Well, his reputation was huge, and physically he was your size.
So, people who are interested in tractors are happier than people who are interested in beer mats?
No, it just means having an interest in something outside yourself, like God. Well, not God, like beer mats, because you can meet other people who like beer mats, and it gives you a huge interest.
There's all these other people out there interested in, what's his name?
Basil Hallam, yes.
Yeah, if they're so interested, why don't they do a play about him?
Because we're doing it. And there's his co-star, Elsie Janis.
Oh.
Now she was quite a girl.
Oh, so this isn't about Basil, it's about her. I knew you wanted to do your own thing. You don't need me to do this.
No, I do, Jack. Basil, I'm writing about Basil for you. He sang, you're a singer, you're a performer, so was he. And Jack, it's research. It'll get you out the house. Basil Hallam lived in Brighton. Here, I found the address in the 1901 census. Go and find the house and take some photos. And Jack, it's going to be like The Apprentice. No internet, just books and museums and libraries. Go!
taking this toll because I don't know what home base is. I used to switch roles and swap some strategies.
Okay, so Basil Hallam, dickhead. Basil lived in this fucking massive mansion with his mummy and daddy and 5 big brothers and sisters. Oh yeah, it was right next to Funky Fish. That was a sick night, man.
Did you tell your friends about the project, Jack? Because they can be part of it too.
Oh no, silly me, Mum, I forgot. But I did some initial research and I found out that in 1901, Basil most probably would have enjoyed watching Punch and Judy on the beach. And there were like these weird wooden huts on wheels which were there because people didn't like getting looked at when they were getting changed. Which is well boring because the best thing about the beach is looking at all the hot girls.
Jack.
I'm doing this to please you, Mum, so get off my back. I found out that Basil went to school in Eastbourne. So just like me, when I was little and life was good, Basil played football. There's him, and there's me. And he won cups. And he sang in the choir. Yeah, he sang this solo at a school concert once, Mum. You're gonna love this. Nearer, my God, to thee, nearer, my God, to thee, nearer, my God, to thee, nearer to thee.
You're not taking this seriously.
Oh, come on, Mum, you gotta love it. Where I showed the parallels, little Basil, little me. I'm starting to relate to the guy.
Well, that's good, but...
Yeah, so, can you pay me now? Because that took me hours.
Well, it's a good start, Jack, but is there any more?
There was some sort of accident. He had a steel plate put in his foot.
That's interesting. Anything else?
Yeah, oh yeah, he did acting.
Ah, just like you.
Pay me!
When we've spent some time thinking about the show.
This is long, man.
Of course, we're going to have to be scholarly and keep records. Everything needs referencing, and if I write it up for publication, I'll need to state my epistemological and ontological standpoint. I need to triangulate and contextualise and be very, very reflexive. Oh, no, not now, Jack.
What? It's an interest.
No, stop it!
It's bigger than me.
No!
Lots of people play.
Yeah, but who are they? You'll never meet them.
I meet him online.
Just sad people in their rooms, strangers, petty, unhealthy losers.
Get out of the way.
Stalkers, maybe, grooming you.
Mum, I'm not 12.
I hate this. It's entertainment out of human misery. It's in such bad taste. That awful music. No wonder you don't sleep at night.
You make me so mad.
I just don't understand the appeal when you've got a world out
Oh, you
there.
don't understand?
No, I don't. This isn't real.
What, and this is real, is it? All these fucking words, your fucking theses and archives, it's all shit. There is no meaning. They proved it in the 1980s, you said. What is it? What are you reading? Michael Foucault. Noam Chomsky.
That's really very relevant.
John Luke Nancy. Come on. Oh my God. All that is solid melts into air. Do you want to know what I'm interested in that's properly big? More real than all your history books and bigger than all your tractors and beer mats? FallofDuty, Medal of Honor, Killzone, Watchdogs. It's not sad, how dare you? I've got communities, online communities. We talk about all sorts, combat, technology, biology, how fucked up the world is. Yeah, it's moderated, but it's instant. It's not like you. I don't have a thought and wait 2 years to get it published. It's the manosphere. You know, fuck all about it.
You go on those sort
Killing
of
with a
websites
rhythm
and
and a
the
hard
algorithms
fight,
feed back
losing
to you all
sight of
sorts
life,
things. I mean,
kicking up the
I
grind,
believe that
falling
what
out
you
the third
focus on,
hand
you
drive.
attract into your life, and if you focus on that kind of thing, oh Jack, why not look inside? Try meditate.
Oh, God.
Jack, look at this. It's the blue marble image of the entire planet Earth, taken by the crew of Apollo 17 in 1972, as they travelled back from the moon with the sun behind them illuminating the Earth. That is nothing to do with computers. That is a real photograph. And this one of the first aerial views of the land, taken in World War I for reconnaissance purposes. People had never seen the Earth from the air before.
Google Maps.
They didn't have satellites. Guys went up there in hot air balloons to take these photographs with the most primitive, heavy cameras you can imagine. Basil did it.
You can't see anything.
No, they could make out enemy trenches and supply routes.
Ammo dumps.
Yes, that too.
That's insane. Hot air balloons in the middle of all those fuckers.
Oh, no, Jack, you're going to have to switch that off.
Hey.
I want you to take this seriously. Look,
Yeah,
Jack,
I'm
I
good.
need you to come
I
in.
could be up for that. No, whoa!
I'm afraid Jack's busy right now. He can speak to you later.
Give it back.
Who was that girl?
Oh,
Did she act?
give my
Was
fucking
that
phone
Laura?
back.
The one
Oi,
I
I
next
swear down.
language, Jack.
Fucking hell.
There might be a part in this for Laura.
You can't control me. Dad said you always did this. You try and organise everyone around you.
Yes,
You
well,
shouldn't do that.
I'm very good at organising.
I don't
This is
want
one
to be
thing
organised.
I can do for you, Jack. You need to be organised.
Fuck's sake.
When I stop organising you and leave you to it, everything falls apart.
Like when?
Every time.
You think you're so organised and efficient? You and your mates, your lot. But what have you and your mates, your generation, done for us? Global warming, that's what. And what about Brexit, man? You're not really fucked up there.
I voted to remain. I told you to vote remain. I put you on the electoral roll. I handed you your polling card. I rang you up to remind you to vote. You said you would. And you forgot.
Yeah, we're voting shit anyway.
No, Jack. You can't say that. Can Lara act and sing?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Ask her along. She could try out for Elsie.
Taking its toll, 'cause I don't know what home base is. Once the switch rolled and swap so dramatic, my songs run down like a
Elsie Janice. This show should be all about you. Who knew that Basil's co-star would show up in Gay and Lesbian Theatrical Legacy, Queer Readings of Players in American Theatre History, and The Theatrical Roots of Modern Feminism? You were bold and brave and fabulous, a pioneer on stage and in Hollywood, writing, producing and starring in movies. The same age as Basil, you and he met in New York City in 1913. You loved to dress up as a boy. You and Basil were an overnight sensation on your West End debut in the passing show of 1914 at the Palace Theatre, Shaftesbury Avenue. I took you to see Priscilla there when you were 10, do you remember? No? So, what did Lara say?
Oh, she says she might.
Oh, good. I'm hoping to do her scene with Basil today and one of the songs. So, is she coming or not?
She says it's too hot to be indoors. She's down the beach.
Oh, great. Well, I'll have to be Elsie. Here's the scene. Say, you're from London.
Indeed I am.
I am making my West End debut in the spring.
Then I shall certainly come and cheer you on, Miss Janice.
I'd like you to do more than that. Basil, I saw you in Mrs. Dart. I'd like you to be my co-star.
That's really very flattering. What's the play?
Not a play, Basil, a musical. You can sing and dance, right?
As a matter of fact, I have a steel plate in this foot, which makes me rather clumsy, but I like to think I can sing.
I have signed a contract with Mr. Alfred Butt to perform at the Palace Theatre, Shaftesbury Avenue. And here is a contract from me for you to sign to seal the deal.
Shouldn't I sign the deal with Mr. Butt?
No, Basil, sign with me. I'll be your producer.
You are quite a girl, Elsie.
I learned it all from my ma. See? Some people learn from their mothers.
Ooh, subtle message.
It should have all gone wrong. Pushy mother shoving her child on stage, depriving her of initiative and drive. But no. Elsie watched and learned. She acquired the business sense, the initiative, the assertiveness, the sense of her own value. And those qualities, combined with good luck and talent, made her a star. God, I might as well be talking to myself. We shouldn't be doing this.
It's a hot day.
Well, this doesn't quench your thirst, it actually dehydrates you.
Mm-hmm. So what are you saying?
I suppose not everyone's got drive and ambition. Got any more stuff on Basil?
Yeah. PG Wodehouse.
Oh, Woodhouse, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. All of London is whistling Basil's tune at this present moment. Basil is playing an upper-class twit known as a nut. The nut of London is the descendant of the Johnny, the beau, the swell and the dude. He's bored to death but does it simply because it is done. His chief forms of relaxation are dancing and bread throwing.
The only time a nut really sits up and begins to display animation is when a hard roll thrown by a friend across the table takes him in the eye, and he reaches out for another to throw back.
What becomes of the nuts? Perhaps they die? Perhaps they turn into something else. But the most plausible theory is that he just evaporates like a fog, and somebody passing by sees his clothes lying there and takes them away.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
Jeez.
Oh, Jack, I've got, shivers up my neck. Affect.
Bless you.
Oh, it's an academic term, a clever word for emotional things like channeling. Magically capturing someone's spirit and projecting it.
Oh, weird. Do you think I'm channeling Basil?
I do.
He's a posh boy, right? I'm known round town as a fearful blood, for I come straight down from the dear old flood, and I know who's who, and I know what's what, and between the two I'm a trifle hot, for I set the tone, as you may suppose, for I stand alone when it comes to clothes. As for gals, just ask my pals, why everybody knows. I'm Gilbert, the Filbert, the nut with a K, the pride of Piccadilly, the blasé roué. Oh, Hades, the ladies who leave their wooden huts for Gilbert, the Filbert, the colonel of the nuts. You may look upon me as a waster. What? But you ought to see how I fag and swat, for I'm called by 2, and by 5 I'm out, which I couldn't do if I slacked about, for I count my ties and I change my kit, and the exercise keeps me awfully fit. Once I begin, I work like sin. I'm full of go and grit. I'm Gilbert, the Filbert, the nut with a K, the pride of Piccadilly, the blasé roué. Oh, Hades, the ladies who leave their wooden huts for Gilbert, the Filbert, the colonel of the nuts.
Oh, Jack, you were channeling him. Oh, I mean, it's perfect casting. You're going to be great. I mean, you look great in the costume. You're the right age. It's in your vocal range. Jack, could you stay focused? We're rehearsing. Oh, for goodness sake. Do you know what? You're just like Gilbert. He thinks the world owes him a living. He lies in bed all day. He's practically nocturnal. He's lazy, listless, just lives to go to parties. Doesn't lift a finger.
Wow.
What's that? Where did you get that? How can you afford that? 1 minute, he makes me so happy, and now this. We're supposed to be working, you look ridiculous. He's 21 years old. It's the middle of the day. No boss would put up with this. Stop it now.
Oh, whoa.
Have a look. I'm paying you, remember?
This way you don't have to hear it.
Look at those lyrics.
Wow. We're going to skip on a great big ship. It's not exactly James Blake, is it? It's no Les Miserables. It's like I'm talking to a child. Honestly, they're fucking idiots.
Peebo.
Oh my god.
Peebo. Oh, Jack. I used to sit you in that little fold-down seat in the Tesco trolley, and we'd be face to face. I'd do up the straps over your shoulders and click the little buckle on your tummy and you'd do a little shuffling wriggle of joy and shoot me a great big smile. And off we'd go, up and down the aisles. You smiling, me smiling back. God, I was stressed about what to buy that wouldn't give my beautiful baby boy bovine spongiform enkeper. But I'd look at you and you'd look at me like I was, oh, it made me so happy. In that moment, everything felt right and we'd just laugh our way round Tesco's. You know, I didn't have a hopeless, unrequited lesbian crush from the moment you were born. Except I did really fancy the midwife. From the moment you were born till you were 15. For about a year when you were small, a glorious year, I was more fascinating to you than what went in the trolley. That didn't last. That lager or me, you wouldn't even have to think about it.
That's really sweet, Mum.
So, here's what we're going to do. Sing the song like you're talking to a child. It's the best thing you can do. You might have one day and you'll have to talk to them. Take action. I don't mean have a child.
Yeah?
How many have you had?
Children?
No, lagers.
This is my... I don't fucking know.
We're here. I don't just mean we're here on this planet. I mean we're here now. And no one is going to give us things to do. We've got to make things to do. This is how we pass the time till we die. This is how we change things. Remember the shopping trolley. Remember the beer mats. Look at me. We two are traveling together today. We've lost our way and gone astray. What matter time or place or weather, when we have lost our way together. 'Cause you're here and I'm here, so what do we care? The time and place do not count, it's the one who is there. And all I ask is room for two, and to be there with only you. It would be heaven when two hearts and true hearts like yours and like mine. The skies are fair everywhere and the sun seems to shine, and now the wide world seems a little cozy corner for you and me. We've quite decided that we're gonna take a trip. We're going to skip on a great big ship. We've got no notion where we're going, and where we'll wind up there's no knowing. But you're here and I'm here, so what do we care? The time and place do not count, it's the one who is there. And all I ask is room for two, and to be there with only you. It would be heaven when two hearts and true hearts like yours and like mine. The skies are fair everywhere and the sun seems to shine, and now the wide world seems a little cozy corner for you and me. Oh, I absolutely loved that.
You're so easily pleased, Mum.
I think that's very true.
But like, what's the point of it all?
Oh, well, I think that particular song illustrates how unexpected the war was, how it just came crashing into people's sunny, cosy lives.
Where's my phone?
Time for another song?
You're pushing it now.
Oh, no, but Jack, listen, this is where the story gets dramatic. Elsie and her mother get on board the Lusitania. The Lusitania, Jack. You've heard of the Titanic? Yes, well, we're going to skip on a great big ship massive irony. The war is raging and the German fleet has a secret weapon, U-boat submarines. Elsie and her mother are back home in America. Basil's older brother Clive is serving in France in the Royal Berkshire Regiment. He is awarded a medal for gallantry. West End theatres are a sea of khaki. Soldiers on leave or about to go to France come for some escapism, light entertainment. By popular demand, Sir Alfred Butt announces the passing show of 1915 with the triumphant return of Basil Hallam and Elsie Janis. Well, Elsie knows the Atlantic crossing may be perilous, the submarines lie in wait, but she's going back to London, back to Basil and the West End, where she can make money and play her part in the war effort. The ship sets out in January 1915. It sets out in a storm, but it arrives safely in Liverpool on the 12th of February. But 3 months later, it lies on the ocean bed, torpedoed by a U-boat with 1,200 passengers in a watery grave.
You had a lucky escape.
Oh, Basil, it's dreadful when I think of those poor souls.
Charles Frohman drowned.
The original producer of Peter Pan. His dying words as he stood on deck as the ship went down.
Why fear death? To die will be an awfully big adventure.
Basil, we're on.
It's the same old song once again, to the same old tender refrain, and the words seem to start from the depths of the heart to a tune that gets on the brain. It's a song of pleasure and pain.
It's a song of sunshine and rain.
And the day that we met, heaven made our duet of the same old song once again.
Oh, Jack, you always could harmonise, even in your high chair. You've got talent. You know you have. You're singing when you were 12.
I'm not 12.
You need a sense of your own value, like Elsie had.
What? Why? She's dead now. No one cares about her. She's not even from here. I get sick of you trying to make a drama out of things that are over. Dead people and women, that's all you actually care about? Bigging up dead lesbians.
Yeah, well, it's about time after hundreds of thousands of years of patriarchy.
And what's wrong with loving your country now?
No, Jack, patriarchy.
Come on, England!
No, that's patriotism.
Putting out the
Patriarchy.
flags!
Patriarchy is a whole system of men being in charge.
Yeah.
Like they have been for hundreds of thousands of years.
Right.
Which is obviously wrong.
What, so I get the blame for it? All these years of patriarchy, and it's just my luck to be born when the women get all the breaks. What are the chances?
It's called progress, Jack. For everyone. We wouldn't all go marching blindly off to war now, would we? Oh, look, Jack, I understand. A lot of young men feel powerless, a bit disenfranchised, rudderless. I mean, look at all the temptations. Cheap supermarket booze, happy hours.
Turn it
day
into a
night,
lecture.
Free porn
Oh.
everywhere
God.
you look.
Don't worry about me, Mum. You don't care anyway.
I do care.
No, you don't. You care about how you look as a mum. Because really, to impress your friends, I should be some gay, opera-loving mummy's boy who's into human rights, who wants to save the planet and eats falafel. But I'm not. I like fucking staying in bed and gaming and going out and getting fucked up and banging girls. But you don't like it, but you can't change me.
I can help.
I don't need your help. I don't need your help, man. I don't feel powerless. Not when I'm gaming. I feel strong.
Yes, but gaming is just escapism.
So wasn't the passing show escapism? You said it yourself. The soldiers went there to forget.
Yes, because they had seen unimaginable horrors. Not on a screen, not made in a studio, in real life. Jack, they were psychologically traumatised. They needed escapism. What are you running away from? The washing up? They'd seen their friends blown to pieces. It was utter futility.
Oh, futility? Is that a posh word for wasting your life? Which do you think I'm doing? How is this going to help? How is anything going to help?
Jack, I thought you'd gone.
I've meditated, and I'm feeling much more calm and centered.
Oh, please, dear God, please stop me from being such a controlling bitch.
Not God, just good. The infinite unknown. I am tapping into limitless good.
Oh, if you want to get high, Mum, just say something.
No, that doesn't help.
I got this. The nut with the K. That's me at a festival. The nut with the ketamine.
What?
Oh, I'm joking. This is the real reason why I walked out.
Oh, Lara. Oh, Jack, I am sorry.
Yeah, Lara's not interested.
Yeah. Oh, I am sorry about Lara. But that does mean no Elsie.
It's all about your fucking play. No Elsie, no Basil.
Oh, no, come on, Jack, you're great.
Oh, I can't do it, you Mum. It's just lame. Your friends won't like it. I can't even tell mine. It's so weird.
Who cares what other people think?
I do.
No, but you were channeling Basil.
How can I do it with you, Mum? It's just pointless.
Jack, we've got to do it now. I've put us down in the fringe programme.
What?
And I've booked our accommodation and everything. Let's think positive. We'll try it out. We'll give it a go. And
Oh
if
my
audiences
God.
like us, they'll join in. We'll ask them to join in.
How is that going to
Oh,
work?
we've got a lovely screen and we can put up the words. It'll be great. And we've got costumes, we've got flyers, and best of all, we've got Basil Hallam, Gilbert the Filbert. I mean, he was the Eddie Redmayne of his day, the Benedict Cumberbatch. And look, Jack, we've got you. Come on, pop the costume on. You have got so much going for you. There. And what's more, I've written another scene.
Elsie, you know what they're saying?
We are the talk of the town.
Mr. Butt and others, I've heard them say it would look good in the newspapers.
Oh, we're in all the newspapers.
It would be appealing to the public if you and I got engaged.
Are you proposing, Basil?
Yes, I think I am.
We get on well, don't we, Basil?
We're both understanding.
You understand about me.
And you understand about me.
Between us, we're quite the ones for the girls, aren't we, Basil?
Half the women at the stage door are more smitten with you than they are with me.
Only half. I'd say a little more so.
Ah, now you flatter yourself.
You sound more like Gilbert every day. You know, back home, they call this a publicity stunt.
The next thing they'll want is me in uniform.
Oh, I'm all for duty, but our war work is here, keeping up morale.
I get those letters, you know.
Well, you should tell that to those letter writers.
I've been turned down twice on account of the old steel plate.
Well, you should let them know that.
They don't want a shirker who hides behind his doctors. They want a man who leads by example.
You're not a fighter, Basil. You're an artist.
Some people really think I am Gilbert the Filbert. They hear his songs and think I really am as silly as he is. that I'm a lucky fella.
Do they? Well, I think myself that life is smart for you.
Well, I was just beginning to believe them.
And what has made you think it isn't true?
Though I realize we've only just met, as I gaze into your eyes of blue.
I think they're brown.
One look makes me think you're all I've got, dear. But all the things I'd give to just have you.
I'm sure you're going to tell us.
I've got a pretty nippy motor car, and I've got a yacht
That sails upon the ocean.
I've got a little house in Wakley Square, and I've got...
Oh, don't tell us any more, please.
I've got a cottage in the country.
I've got a little garden too.
I've got honey, lots of money.
Then you've got everything you want, it's true.
Yes, I've got everything I want but you.
Now, that sounds like a marriage proposal. Perhaps all the audience could join you in a response. The words will come up on the screen. Everybody?
I'd like that pretty little motor car, and I'd like that yacht that sails upon the ocean. I'd like that little house in Berkeley Square, and I'd like... Then you shall have it all, dear. I'd like that cottage in the country. You shall have the little garden too. I'd like honey, all that money. Yes, you'd like everything I've got, it's true.
Yes, I'd like everything you've got but you.
What?
Oh, Gilbert, that must be a terrible disappointment. Never mind, that was wonderful singing. I think we should have another verse this time, celebrating female emancipation, don't you? Here goes. Out the way, please. I've got a pretty nippy motor car, and I've got a yacht
that sails upon the ocean.
I've got a little house in Berkeley Square, and I've got...
Just don't tell them anymore, please.
I've got a cottage in the country, and I've got a little garden too.
Oh, no.
I've got honey, lots of money.
And you've got everything you want, it's true.
Yes, I've got everything I want, it's true.
Oh, they were good.
They were very good, exceptionally good. Oh dear, is that your phone? Who is it this time?
Ooh, just got me a date?
Is it Lara?
No. Cara.
All these different girls, it can't be helping.
Oh, it's helping me. Can I wear this jacket?
On your date?
Yeah, I like it.
Jack, maybe Cara can be in our show.
Nah, it's alright, Mum. I think we're doing fine. Just you, me, and the audience.
Oh, I'm glad you think so. Time for another song?
Yeah, just give me a quick sec.
Just a moment. Who's that?
Oh, that's Zara.
You are incorrigible.
Now none can say of me I'm not a constant lover. Look how constantly I fall in love. For tall girls I'm all there, small girls dark or fair, all girls I don't care. For I think that each is a perfect peach till the next one comes in reach. For I dote on Dora, then I flirt with Flora, then I cotton to Cora, then I linger with Laura, then I thirst for Thora, then I'm nuts on Nora, then tomorrow I'm Dora's adorer once again. Oh, life's so terribly complex. For if I stick to one, I've got to jilt the others. How can that be done? You know it can't, for shy girls make me go. Sly girls thrill me so. Why, girls, don't you know that I'm sworn and true to each one of you, and that's all a man can do. For I dote on Dora, then I flirt with Flora, then I cotton to Cora, then I linger with Laura, then I thirst for Thora, then I'm nuts on Nora, then tomorrow I'm Dora's adorer once again. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll never believe it, but the words are coming up now. For I dote on Dora, then I flirt with Flora, then I cotton to Cora, then I linger with Laura, then I thirst for Thora, then I'm nuts on Nora, then tomorrow I'm Dora's adorer once again. Oh my! That was amazing. Come on, give yourself a round of applause. Thank you, thank you. Autographs, autographs. I'm here all day. What's this?
They think he's a coward.
Why?
Because England is at war with Germany.
White feathers.
Every week, the Sunday Mirror makes fun of Gilbert the Filbert for not joining up.
So why didn't he?
Well, Basil wasn't Gilbert the Filbert, and Basil had tried to enlist.
You get a chance to fight, man. You gotta go.
He gets turned down twice.
Serve your country.
He had that steel plate in his foot, remember?
If he wanted to, he could have signed up.
He keeps the rejection secret.
Like you're always saying, take action, do something, anything.
He's back in the passing show.
If he can sing and dance on stage, then he can sign up.
Entertaining all of London.
Basil, man. What a pussy. I really thought this Gilbert the Filbert thing was just a fucking act, but he really is a fucking dickhead. Thinks he's better than everyone.
300,000 dead.
Get in with the action.
Oh, Jack! Basil has fame, money, lots of girlfriends. I thought you'd think that was great.
Back your boys, you know what I mean?
Have you got any idea how much discipline it takes?
Yeah? I've been going gym. Look at these.
Yes, you have to get up. You have to get up at the crack of dawn. You have to keep your kit clean. You have to go on parade. You have to take order. You have to stay sober. You wouldn't last a minute.
Wouldn't I?
We're workshopping a show in front of an audience next week, Jack. You will show up. I can rely on you.
I'll be there.
Taking this toll, 'cause I don't know what home base is. Once the switch rolls and switch on the lane, my soul takes down like a powerball. I like to shine.
Yes, that's right, 3 days ago. He's about 5'9½". Black trousers, grey top. No, he hasn't got a job where anyone would miss him. doing an arts project with me. His mum. Yes, it is very nice. On a scale of 1 to 10, how vulnerable? Well, 1 or 2, I suppose. He's a big boy. Oh, you've done some checks, and there've been no incidents. Oh, well, thank you. And you'll let me know. Yeah, I am sorry to bother you. Thank you. Thank you, you've been very patient. Goodbye. See how scared Basil looks. Leaving London for France, hating the war. He hated it. He had no delusion of glory and honour. His big brother Clive was the professional soldier, the DSO. And when Clive was killed in action in September 1915, Basil's sense of inadequacy and horror grew. If Clive, with all his dreams of glory, his training and resilience, if Clive couldn't survive, how could he, out here in this hell that nothing had prepared him for? And who was he? To scores of Tommies, this gentle, courteous, elegant man was Gilbert the Filbert. Men whistled his tunes and military bands took up the refrain. Stages were improvised. Basil had to perform out there, without Elsie, without the chorus girls, behind the lines, within earshot of the constant bombardment of artillery. It must have been a relief for Basil to get airborne. He was in the Royal Flying Corps, and they went up in hot air balloons to get a good look down. The basket stayed tethered to the earth. It mustn't drift off over enemy lines. And Basil would take a pen and paper and sketch what he could see: enemy trenches, supply routes. And because human aggression is the biggest stimulus to technological advance, in just a few months, cameras were made the right size to take up too, and telephone wires were put inside that umbilical cable connecting the balloon to the battlefield.
Taking its toll, 'cause I don't know what home base is. I must have switched roles and switched Australia. My soul takes down like a powerful
Yes. Yes, Mum, I know. Yes, you're right. On Thursday, it will be 3 months since Jack went missing. Yes, I know. Well, yes. Yes, I know it is very selfish of him after all we've done. Yes, and I know he missed your birthday. Yes, well, I lie awake at night worrying about him too, Mum, but do you know what? You're not to. Worrying is like praying for something bad to happen. Yes. Yes, he was such a lovely little boy. Yes, yes, I do remember that. Yeah, Mum, I'm going to have to go now. Okay. Mum, I love you too. Yes, of course I will. Love you. Bye. Facebook, nothing. Instagram, not a word. But I notice that he is still logged in here.
Hey, Jack.
Oh, it's not Jack, actually, it's his mum. Sorry to bother you, but Jack's gone missing, and I just wondered if maybe you knew where he was?
No, he's not been in here in ages. I don't know where he is. I hope you find him, okay?
Thank you. Enjoy your game. Some days I carry on as normal. Jack's an adult after all. Elsie is back home in America. She's drumming up support for America to join the war in Europe. And when a letter somehow gets through from Basil against all the odds, she decides that she wants to go and sing to the troops. Well, it's a crazy idea. She's got no permissions, no way to fund it. But she does some concerts to raise the cash, and she finds a ship to take her to Europe. Friends think she's crazy after that narrow escape with the Lusitania. She and her mother arrive in France, and they find a truck to take them round the place. And Elsie sings to servicemen and nurses of every race and rank. She sings and she sings and she sings, and she is called the sweetheart of the American Expeditionary Force.
Taking its toll, cause I don't know a home basis. And once we switch roles and switch on strategy, down like a
Oh, I say, it's a postcard. From France. It's from Jack. I'm coming home.
Snail mail? Still, it beat me by a whisker.
You did it then.
Huh?
You're looking well.
Feeling great.
Are they looking after you?
Looking after myself.
When are you due back?
Back where?
Your battalion or whatever.
Nah, I didn't join the army. I went to the interview, but nah. Just got a bit of money off Dad and took off. Had a wicked time, Mum. I thought of you. Looking at the world when you do your thing. I did that with monks in Thailand. Then flew to Paris. I did a skydive. It was there. North France, last bit of my journey. Blew all my cash on it. Been saving up ever since. I jumped out of a plane, Mum. It's so hot and you smell petrol really bad coming in through the gaping hole where the side of the plane should be. We're walking right past it. We could fall out any moment, and then we do. I don't feel like I'm falling, I'm just spinning upwards and backwards in a jet of burning air that takes my voice away, deafens my ears and spins my brain to overdrive. The fields twist round like a kaleidoscope. I can see coasts and fields, and it's all moving way fast when something slowly registers that I don't seem to be breathing. So I try to breathe, through my nose doesn't work, through my mouth doesn't work. I'm running out of time, come on lungs. Seriously, it was a whoosh and you were out. As soon as you sat on the edge, you were sucked out. But once I got a handle of my breathing, I tried to look around. I was falling at 160 miles an hour terminal velocity. My feet were freezing, and then the parachute opened, just as I was getting a feel for it. I'd done just over a minute of freefall, and it was honestly the best feeling in the world. Didn't matter, I spent all my money and I couldn't get home. Well, it did, because I literally had nothing left, but I was on such a high, so I went and asked the skydive guys, but they said you have to be really qualified to work for them. But one of their brothers worked in a hotel, and he got me a job there. So I lived at this hotel. It was like a big stately home, and I was on reception. And there were all these people from Canada, Australia, people from New Zealand come to stay, find their relatives from World War I, see where they're buried and stuff. And like Pascal, my boss, gave me the guidebook in English, and I had to drive the minibus and like find out all the different details the guests wanted to know. And when they got here, I took them out to the places, the fields, all pretty now that once were bomb sites and trenches. And we always ended up at a cemetery, sometimes 6 in a day if there are a few in a group. And it was really, well, it was my job, so I got used to it. And I got tips. But like, yeah, one day I read in the guidebook about Basil. Basil, it said Gilbert the Filbert, the Colonel of the Nuts. You know what happened to him? He was in a hot air balloon, checking out the enemy from way up there. And it was a sunny day, but windy. And he was up there with another guy. And they'd been hauled back down when the cable broke. And the wind's like blowing them steadily over towards the enemy. So they ditched their cameras and maps overboard. They could get shot down by German plane or ground artillery, so there's nothing for it. The parachute's just like a bit of webbing around your waist, no shoulder straps. And Basil gives the other man the courage to jump, and he does, and he gets down safely. But then there's just Basil left. Loads of soldiers watching from the ground, wondering what this guy's gonna do. Has he got a parachute, hasn't he? What's stopping him? Is it tangled up? And Basil's up there. He's up there on the edge of the basket. He's up there in that exact same sky where I was, only without the petrol and the noise. It's just windy but quiet. And Basil's looking down. The men are looking up, willing him on. They don't know yet that it's Gilbert the Filbert. They find that out later. They just see this man finally detach from the basket and drop like a stone through the air. So we're in this tiny village, no shops, just 3 massive war cemeteries, and I'm with this New Zealand family whose great-grandfather won the Victoria Cross, and they're having a peaceful time by his grave, laying a wreath, so I'll give them a bit of space. I look round, and I find it. Basil's grave. And I want to give him something, but I haven't got a wreath, so... But then I remember one of his songs. Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer to thee. I took a picture on my new mobile. I earned enough to get one out there and to come home. But just before that, just after that, I did another skydive just last week. It was amazing to feel that free, that far out, that excited, but that safe. And I just thought, how lucky am I? So here I am. You're here and I'm here, so what do we care? The time and place do not count, it's the one who is there, and all I ask is room for 2, and to be there with only you. It would be heaven when 2 hearts and true hearts like yours and like mine. The skies are fair everywhere, and the sun seems to shine, and now the wide world seems a little cozy corner for you